Yo, hey everyone! Boy, it's been a while since I've done one of these, so enough chit chat and welcome to Pocket Heroes, the show where I review overlooked comic book video games on handheld consoles. And today we're talking about Fantastic Four: Flame On, developed by Torus Games, the same guys who made the Invincible Iron Man on Game Boy Advance, a game that I thoroughly enjoyed despite its super short length. Fantastic Four: Flame On released on November 8th, 2005 for the Game Boy Advance. This is not the official movie tie-in game, there is one, but this is a spin-off that centers around none other than, you guessed it, the Human Torch. I've always thought this game is just kinda weird, like not mechanically or anything to do with the gameplay or graphics, just the concept. Like you hear about a Fantastic Four game and the first thing you picture is a co-op game where you get to play as a Fantastic Four, not just one of the team members. It's like having a Teletubbies game where you only play as Tinky Winky. I mean, come on. But if you had to choose one member of the Fantastic Four to base a game around, let's be honest, it's gonna be this guy. He undoubtedly has the coolest powers and a good catchphrase that works as a subtitle. Well, I guess you could also do Fantastic Four clobbering time. Fantastic Four gotta stretch? No. Fantastic Four you can't see me? Maybe. I gotta applaud Torus Games. These guys know how to make a Game Boy Advance game look good. Just look at the Invincible Iron Man. The colors here are lush. They never say judge a book by its cover, but if you're wondering why I didn't cover the actual Fantastic Four movie tie-in game first, this is why. I hate when GBA games try to emulate 3D character models. It never looks right. They often go for more muted colors and try to achieve a more realistic look. It's boring and a chore to look at. This is what you want. Vibrant colors, smooth animations. This is what I live for. So Flame On is, I'm just gonna call it Flame On from here on out. Fantastic Four: Flame On is just too much to say. Plus, Flame On is just cool to say on its own. Flame On. Flame on, Johnny boy. So even though Flame On is not the official movie tie-in game, it opens up following the origin of Marvel's first family. An abridged version at least. Before you know it, you're setting up a date with that hot nurse, like the movie. And on his way there, Johnny comes across Skrulls. Remember that from the movie? Yeah, the bad guys you'll be fighting throughout the game are the Skrulls, which is pretty cool. Although a little weird that no one else on the team heard about a frickin' alien invasion going on right underneath their noses. Like, I know the whole gimmick of the Skrulls is that they can disguise themselves as regular people, but they didn't seem too concerned about blending in when I was fighting them in the middle of New York City streets. Why don't you pay a little more attention there, stretchy guy? Aren't you like Marvel's greatest mind or something? What's going on with you anyway? You're like a bad guy now, with a dumb helmet? But not the normal you, the ultimate universe you? And you're prominent in a Venom book? I don't know, comics are weird. The combat in Flame On is pretty good. You get a good mix of hand-to-hand, projectiles, and special moves. Oh man, just look at how awesome this looks. My favorite move is Johnny's flight ability, which isn't really flight. Pressing the jump button in the air along with the direction will allow you to do a burst of flight in that direction. It works really well, and it adds a bit of a platforming element. Torus Games did the same thing with the Invincible Iron Man. Iron Man and the Human Torch are two characters that should be able to freely fly, but limiting that flight ability to a double jump or a charge makes for a more interesting game mechanic. Yes, it is weird, but you're also playing a game where health pickups are hot nurses that are standing around on top of a crane. What are you even doing here? Don't you have a 14-hour shift to cover in the emergency room? Throughout the levels, you see these orange gems that are addicting to pick up. Probably due to how fun it is to burst around in a streak of fire. But eventually I started ignoring them when I realized there's no incentive to go after these gems. The only thing they do is improve your rating at the end of the level, and I'm not exactly clamoring to beat my high score in Fantastic Four: Flame On. You're given one ability point at the end of certain levels, which I found a little annoying, that the times in which you can level up wasn't more regulated. Instead, I think it would have been much better if picking up these gems filled an XP meter that would reward you with more ability points. Outside of the regular beat 'em up levels, you've also got flight levels to get your fill on actual flight. They're pretty standard shoot 'em up sections that mix things up a bit. There's a pretty decent boss fight against Dragon Man. Remember that guy from Marvel Ultimate Alliance? That's the only other thing I know him from. You've also got two special levels, I guess I would call them. One is a snowboarding level, and the other is a motocross level, cause he's Johnny Storm and he's wild and fun. These just suck. They're not fun. They're a fun reference to the movie, but they're super clunky from a gameplay standpoint and easily the worst part of the game. Oh yeah, and get this, Galactus is in this game. Like, actually Galactus. This part I find kind of hilarious. The Skrulls were able to capture Galactus because he was too hungry to fight at the time. But dude, you're like super giant. You're Galactus. How do you get caught by a bunch of green elves? And wouldn't the Silver Surfer come to his aid or something? Anyway, Johnny sees this and figures, hey, those Skrulls have been dicks to me this whole time. So it'd probably be a good thing if I freed this behemoth that's firing lasers at me from his eyes. So you free Galactus and he's like, hey, you freed me. You're pretty dumb, but cool. And Johnny's like, I'm not cool, I'm hot. See, cause he's fire. Okay, I'll see you in the sequel. You might not recognize me. In the end, you fight Power Skrull. And I'm like, Power Skrull? Don't you mean Super Skrull? But then I remembered that I'm a fraud that doesn't actually read comics, except really bad ones like Spawn, so I'll just shut my mouth before I embarrass myself any further. Once you beat him, you head back to your useless band of freak shows, and they're like, Johnny, where you been this whole movie? We're about to fight Dr. Doom. No time to explain, strike a pose! Hey guys, thanks for watching. I know it's been a while since my last Pocket Heroes episode. I'm definitely gonna be getting these out more consistently. If you don't know, I actually stream these games live in preparation for the review. So you should follow me at BeholdTheSack so you can get notified whenever it is I'm going live on my Twitch channel, twitch.tv/BeholdTheSack. So you can get my initial impressions live, before the actual review. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.